first at 4.
A national holiday celebrating Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., but there's a special focus this year on his commitment to voter rights and voter equality. 2 women shot and killed in front of their children on Friday in Augusta. The suspect also found dead with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. We have more on that story. But today, a call for more to be done about violence in that area. It comes after people came together over the weekend to remember 8-year-old Aubrey Anthony, who was shot and killed in a drive-by shooting. Sloan O'Cone spoke with Augusta Commissioner Williams, who says finding a solution to slowing the crime rate is the challenge.
Commissioner Williams says it's so hard to find a solution because it all comes down to the individual. He says it's something most people don't think about the impact, but you can see the impact right here behind me with the crime scene tape on the ground and the kids' toys in the front yard. Friends say Raven and Mercedes' friendship was one we all hoped for. 2 peas in a pod, each other's backbone, great mothers who did everything together. Although their lives ended tragically, friends say it would have been so hard for either one to imagine life without the other, and that God called them home together. Commissioner Dennis Williams of their district says the solution to stopping violence is a combination of city leaders, churches, education, and ultimately you, members of the community.
Solution is the individual. We have to have it in our heart to use good judgment, to overlook a lot of things that people are shooting each other for.
Talking about a sense of community and creating outlets within the community is just the beginning. I'm working on a story looking at what else Commissioner Williams says is necessary coming up on News 12 at 6 o'clock. In Augusta, Sloan O'Cone on your side.
Looking forward to that, Sloan. Thanks for the live update there. The man who fired the shot in the murder of Ahmaud Arbery wants a new trial. The motion filed by attorneys for Travis McMichael says the state failed to prove his guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. McMichael and his father, Gregory, along with their neighbor, William Rodney Bryan, all convicted of killing Arbery back in November, all 3 sentenced to life in prison. State prosecutors also filed their own motion to keep the men from profiting from their crime. Prosecutors told the judge at the sentencing they want any money that comes from a book or movie deal to go to the Arbery family and not those 3 suspects. Scary sight for drivers outside Raleigh, and icy weather there, causing a tractor trailer to fall there over the overpass down to the street below. This is in Durham last night. You can see the trailer just dangling off the side of that bridge into oncoming lanes of the interstate down below. Parts of both highways were shut down as crews worked to find the best way to safely remove that truck and the trailer. The driver taken to a hospital for his injuries. But just a mess up there in the Raleigh-Durham area. Let's have a look outside now.
Closed captioning for News 12 is brought to you by Kenneth Nugent. From the station that's on your side, News 12, first at 5, continues.
On this Martin Luther King Jr. Day, many of you are honoring Dr. King and his legacy by serving others. A lot of events happening today to honor Dr. King and to help give back to our community. Our Claire Allen spoke with United Way as they get set for a drive-through event tomorrow afternoon. And here she is.
All day today was full of service for others. From people being honored for their service in the community to people packaging supplies in order to help out the Salvation Army. Now, some events were canceled or postponed due to weather and also due to COVID-19. But the Global Race Unity annual celebration honoring nonprofits for their work in the community still took place. Residents of Brandon, Wild, and Evans helped gather supplies for the Salvation Army, bagging hygiene products. They donated more than 200 bags. United Way of the CSRA had to postpone their annual MLK giveaway event where they provide family kits to different agencies, but they say tomorrow they will be back in action.
There's a quote attributed to him that says, "Everybody can be great because anybody can serve." And that's what we believe too, that you don't have to be from a special background or have any special resources. Anyone can be great.
And later at 6, I will give you more details about where the giveaway will be for United Way and also how COVID has impacted some volunteers for some nonprofits.
Claire Allen on a windy afternoon out there for us. And there's a community celebration to honor Dr. King set for Sunday, this one at the USC Aiken Convocation Center. Those doors open at 2:30. The program begins at 3. The event is free. It is open to the public. The latest card. Everybody can be great because anybody can serve. And tonight we remember Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. on this National Day of Service, giving you a live look there at his memorial lit up tonight in Washington, D.C. We're going to show you how the River Region spent this day giving back. But first up, it's an act of service that can save lives. Blood, one of those things we take for granted, but we assume that if we're going to need it, it'll be there just waiting for us at the hospital. But right now, that might not be the case. Shepherd Blood Center in critical need of O negative and O positive blood and platelets, and in urgent need of all other types. And while a blood shortage is never a good thing, the I-Team's Laura Warren found right now experts say this is a crisis nationwide.
Robert Ryan, a local Air Force veteran, has blood cancer, and occasionally when his blood levels drop too low, he needs a transfusion.
Right now, there's no blood to get. He's in hospital waiting for someone to go to donate blood for a cause so that he can get blood.
When we spoke to them, he had already been waiting 4 days in the hospital.
He's never had an instance where it's been, you have to go in the hospital and wait for blood. A blood donation happens, and someone who needs a bag of blood goes to the transfusion center or their blood center, wherever at whatever hospital it is. They get their bag of blood usually on an outpatient basis, and they go home. That's the norm.
But the norm has been upended by the ripple effects of a 2-year-long pandemic.
He's in that position because there's a critical supply at the blood banks. You don't have it.
Local blood supplies ebb and flow, but there are usually some safety nets in case of a shortage. But right now, Shepherd Blood Center says all of those safety nets are gone.
In the past, if we got in a bind and we really needed a certain blood type, we could reach out to other blood centers and they could help us, and vice versa. But right now, no one in the nation has these blood products.
It's why they're teaming up with AU to host emergency blood drives like this one on campus. Because right now, what we have available here in the Augusta area depends entirely on what we give.
It's terrifying, honestly, because what I do is I go in our lock and I look at how bare our shelves are. And if we were to have a larger scale accident here locally, it doesn't even have to be a super large scale. It could be 10 people hurt in a car accident. We would not have the products to help them right now.
For rare blood types like the O negative blood Robert needs to live, Shepherd says they were only able to fulfill 57% of the requests from local hospitals in December. And they said that wasn't even their worst month.
But right now, this is an historic blood shortage. I don't think we've ever seen it quite this bad.
Doctors say some elective procedures have had to be put on hold, and opening precious bed space for a patient who should be able to be treated and sent home is a drain on their already limited resources.
Having that blood right there in the ER so we can do what we need to and just treat them, get them home, and follow up outpatient is is needed right now. You know, we are completely out of beds in the hospital, and we need that resource back.
Our I-Team found locally blood donations dropped 7.5% from pre-pandemic numbers in 2018 to 2020. Canceled blood drives during the pandemic caused bloodmobile donations alone for Shepherd to drop 39% from 2018 to 2020. As the vaccine became available and more people were comfortable going out and about, in 2021, they expected those rates to skyrocket. But the number only picked up slightly by 2%.
There's faces to these people. And my husband just happens to be one of those faces who's in need right now.
37,000 units, 14% more than last year. That's how much blood Shepherd says they need on their shelves to supply all of our area hospitals this year. With the effects of Omicron still raging, it's a tall order.
Unless we can find people who will be there to donate, he has a downward struggle to an ultimate end.
But you have the power to change that. One donation can save 3 lives, and it could be Robert's.
Or it could be someone you love next time. These are some of the blood drives scheduled this week to help with that shortage. We're going to post these on the website, but you can also go to shepherdblood.org and put in your zip code to find a blood drive that's close to you. And thanks in advance for helping out right now. Let's get a live look outside, a live look up. New this evening, we're learning the driver and passenger inside this car are okay, both of them okay, after crashing into the canal over the weekend. This was actually Sunday morning on I-20, eastbound at the Canal Bridge, heading from Augusta into South Carolina. Georgia's Department of Transportation says the car was on the inside lane when it hit the rail and ran off the road. You can see damage to that guardrail where they put barrels in place. GDOT telling us no word on what caused the crash, but as we said, fortunately, somehow, no injuries. But this makes the second crash in the canal in less than a month. The last time an 18-wheeler went in. Putting an end to gun violence, still top of mind in Richmond County after a double homicide over the weekend. Two 27-year-old mothers shot and killed in front of their own children. News 12 Sloan O'Cone spoke with friends who say the women were best friends.
Raven Tolbert and Mercedes Gibson have the type of friendship everyone looks for. Their friends say from being great mothers to facing hardships, they did it together or alongside one another. They were each other's backbone and saw their friendship through to the very end. Now, outside the home, the mailbox is open and full. Crime scene tape lays on the ground, and their kids' toys are scattered across the lawn, showing the impact an impulse can have. Commissioner Dennis Williams says searching for answers is not easy.
It's not a whole lot that the system can do to eliminate the problem, because the problem lies in individuals' hearts.
He says we need to work on education to think and make sound decisions, provide more funding to tools like the Boys and Girls Club, churches, and work-study programs. More cooperation and communication with law enforcement is key.
Those things that we have to work hard as community leaders and as members of the community to keep violence out of our neighborhoods and area.
And if you really want to make a difference,
try to be a good role model for our young people.
In Augusta, Sloan O'Cone, on your side.
Stopping gun violence also on the minds of family and friends of 8-year-old Aubrey Anthony. This is a march they held Saturday to spread their message. Aubrey was killed in a drive-by shooting right in front of her home in the Dogwood Terrace apartments. It happened last weekend. Right now, we know 21-year-old Antoine Redfield facing charges in connection to that murder. We're told to expect more arrests as the investigation continues. A postponed parade, scaled back celebrations this MLK Day. COVID trying to slow down this National Day of Service, but definitely not stopping it. News 12's Claire Allen now live with us from United Way of the CSRA, where the giving back is really just getting ready to begin out there. Claire?
That's right, the day may be ending, but the service continues tomorrow with United Way hosting their annual drive-through donation giveaway in this parking lot tomorrow.
Everybody can be great because anybody can serve.
United Way says the message behind MLK Day falls in line with their annual giveaway tomorrow morning.
I think service was an important part of MLK's life and his legacy.
Along with United Way, the Global Race Unity annual celebration honored nonprofits today for their work in the community. Seniors at Brandon Wild and Evans helped gather supplies for the Salvation Army to give out in the community.
I think we've come a long way in the last 50 years, and this is part of that. The legacy of Martin Luther King Jr.
You don't have to be from a special background or have any special resources. Anyone can be great because any of us in our community can serve.
And with the recent COVID spike, volunteers have been limited to this year's giveaway. They will be out here tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 12 collecting items such as soap, toothbrushes, toothpaste, shampoo, and conditioner for anybody who's willing to drop off any donations.
And hopefully a lot of people will do exactly that. Claire, thanks for the live update there on a windy evening in Augusta. Still to come here on News 12 at 6 o'clock, her legacy lives on. We're going to tell you about the Betty White Challenge and how you can get involved on her birthday right here at home.
And it is a cold and windy night for the first full moon of 2022. We'll have a look at that forecast for you coming up just after the break.
We're going to keep you updated. We'll let you know when things are back to normal in Aiken.
Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again.
Remembering the late and legendary Betty White on what would have been her 100th birthday, the SPCA Albrecht Center in Aiken celebrating with a Golden Girls themed adoption event. It's all part of a nationwide trend today called the Betty White Challenge. Here's News 12's Will Volk with how you can still get involved.
Hey, Brian.
For Lori McCormick, this is the way to spend a holiday.
Hi.
She's here for the Betty White Challenge.
You know, if everybody just donated $5, we could really make a difference.
She gave her time and money to help these animals.
You are cute.
That's something Betty White would do.
She was just always so kind, and you know, you never heard anything bad about her, and she was a huge animal advocate.
We can use her as an example of what human beings ought to be, and that is kind and loving.
Barbara Nelson runs the SPCA Albrecht Center in Aiken. They're honoring White with an event. There's treats, a raffle, and free or reduced adoption fees. But that's not all.
We're naming her Betty.
Look at her. She's not even a week old.
To be kind to something else, to be kind to an innocent creature like an animal, is really part of why we are here on this earth.
Even though Betty White isn't alive to celebrate her 100th birthday, her spirit is. In Aiken, Will Volk, on your side.
Little Betty was a cutie too, right? If you'd like to donate to the shelter, you can do that from the Albrecht Center's website. We have a link for you online to make it easy at WRDW.com. Coming up here, thousands across the two states still without